All right, I think it's recording. All right, my name is Kareem Salam. This is for HSS 404, section number 464, and I will be going over the video essay. My thesis statement is what makes or breaks a movie is the director's ability to direct or misdirect a viewer. The movies I've chosen for this was Whiplash, Shutter Island, and Hundreds of Beavers. I've chosen these movies because I felt like they all had were able to direct or misdirect a viewer in different ways. Starting off with Whiplash, it follows a character named Andrew Neiman, played by Miles Teller. It was directed by Daniel Chazelle. And it goes over the story of Mr. Neiman trying to become the best possible drummer he could be, where he sacrifices everything he could, from relationships to putting stress on relationships with his father, to drumming till his hands bleed. He is going above and beyond to the point where he is so fixated on his dream to become a world famous jazz drummer that he gets into a car crash, rushing to his recital, and instead of seeking medical help, he tries his best to carry on and go to the competition. But I don't want to focus on Neiman. I actually would rather focus on Terrence Fletcher, his director. The reason why he's pushing himself so much, the reason why he wants to become the person he wants to become. Um, Terrence Fletcher does a phenomenal job of constantly confusing and misdirecting the audience. He is the reason why the plot begins to progress, as well as why you never know what his next move is going to be. Even when he was first introduced, when you see the band he's working with, the class he's teaching, and he has them all like tune up and begin to present a song. One of the band members was out of tune, and through a process of intimidation, he picks out one of them and begins to put a lot of pressure on that student and tells them, "Why are you out of tune?" The student admits that he's out of tune, and then he leaves. He essentially kicks him out. And after the student leaves, he admits he was not out of tune. But the fact that he didn't know was even worse. From that moment on, he has established that his character is unpredictable. His character is not going to be consistent at any given moment. His goal is to manipulate and try and get the best out of his students, which is why he treats Neiman the way he does. And that is what makes this movie such a phenomenal movie. There is the aspect of, you're watching someone grow and develop, but there's also the unpredictability. You don't know which side. Is he the protagonist? Is he a supporting character? You can't tell. Next up, I wanted to go over Shutter Island. And in this case, the how the director confuses you is very blunt, or very obvious, especially when you get towards the end of the movie, where he sets up this entire world where you have a detective trying to figure out a mystery, some missing patient, and you have this entire world set up in a way where everything isn't making sense. There are so many tragedies and just natural disasters occurring that you feel like the only consistency is the main character, and you depend on him until you realize that you're seeing it through the eyes of the main character, and he is the reason why the world isn't making sense. He himself is the patient. He himself is the one who is sick. And that is where the complete flip, the misdirect, is occurring. You are relying on your only source of information, to try and help explain what's going on in this world, and it is completely false. It is completely flipped over, and it's only till you take a step back and you see it from the perspective of the doctors looking in then you understand what is really happening. And finally, I wanted to go over Hundreds of Beavers. It's a black and white, a slapstick comedy that like kind of takes inspiration from 19th century films, earlier films. And here, it's not worked into the entire plot the same way as the other two would. As in Whiplash, you had a single character that would help misdirect and lead away, like a magician constantly playing tricks. While in Shutter Island, it was the entire plot. You had one major misdirect. Here, Hundreds of Beavers did it for the sake of comedy, where they would misdirect or kind of confuse or lead on audiences at every subtle joke. Moments where you would expect the character to do one thing and you could kind of predict that it's going to happen, and then it does. And that leading on kind of trains the audience to expect something to happen. And that brings the comedy. That's what makes it so funny. I know this is going to happen. I could see it. I could see its build up, and then the joke hits the punchline. And with that, you train the audience to expect some kind of humor, some specific jokes, and then you flip it, where the director will then give an element of surprise, something you don't see coming, you don't expect. He may throw in a new character that wasn't introduced before to help progress things along, or to help train the main character and help him move along the plot. But it is because of those little subtle misdirects that kind of make this movie so enjoyable. It's what makes it funny. So with that being said, and if a director is able to, and like I said, I keep referencing a magician because it's simply, I think, the essence of movie magic. If you're able to have the audience believe something and then either give the choice to make it true or false, prove them right or wrong, could change the nature of the film, from comedy to tragedy, from tension to release. The art of capturing an audience's mind is what makes the director a good or bad director. That is my video essay, and I hope it's good.